Hi guys, it's Han here. Mazda has introduced a hybrid model in the 2025 CX-50 lineup. We are going to check it out today. Special thanks to Jason, by Mazda from Jason. Welcome to subscribe my car reviews channel both in English and Chinese. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, and light up the bell. Mazda first launched the CX-50 hybrid model in the China market, and it was not launched in the US market until the 2025 model. This hybrid system is based on Toyota's hybrid system, consisting of a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, a hybrid battery, 3 electric motors, eCVT, and an electric all-wheel drive. Even the gasoline engine part, you can see that it is not from the Mazda, but from the Toyota. The gasoline engine part just replaced the logo on the engine hood to the Mazda logo. The 2025 CX-50 has a total 3 kinds of powertrains. One is a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. The high-end power uses a 2.5-liter turbocharged engine. Both are equipped with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Then there is this hybrid now, which is equipped with a 4.8-volt 1.59 kilowatt-hour nickel hydrogen battery pack. The weight of the drive battery part is 47.5 kilograms. We are not unfamiliar with the maximum horsepower of this hybrid system, which is exactly the same as the RAV4 hybrid. If you compare it in family, you can see that its maximum horsepower is between the 2.5-liter gasoline engine and the 2.5-liter turbocharged engine. In terms of size, we can see that the hybrid version is not much different from the gasoline version, which may be due to the difference in the outer covering. The total length of the hybrid version is slightly longer, and the height is slightly higher than other versions, but the minimum ground clearance of the hybrid is slightly smaller. At the same time, it is inevitable that the curb weight of the hybrid version is heavier. The curb weight of the hybrid version is even heavier than the hybrid version of RAV4 hybrid. The structure suspension in front is double wishbone and in rear is torsion beam, which are the same as other versions. The fuel tank capacity is 14.5 gallons or 55 liters, which is slightly smaller than the gasoline version. Its fuel tank capacity is the same as the RAV4 hybrid. The maximum towing capacity of the CX-50 hybrid is 1,500 pounds. Mazda's official estimated fuel consumption is 38 mpg for the hybrid version under comprehensive conditions, or 6.19 liters per 100 kilometers. As you can see, the basic trim of the 2025 model has not changed at all except for the addition of 3 hybrid models. The 2.5T model has lost the entry-level model, and it seems that Mazda is going to start working on the CX-50. If we match the corresponding names of the 2025 trim levels with those of the 2024 model, we are surprised to find that the 2025 model has not increased in price at the manufacturer's suggested retail price excluding freight. I am so happy about this, as it seems that the spring of gasoline vehicles is coming. The one we're going to check out is the vehicle from Jason here for sale, a 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid Premium Plus with 225 55R19 wheels, which is basically the base configuration. A weather package was selected. The MSRP including shipping is $43,110. The engine and transmission of this car come from the Japan plant. The final assembly is from the US plant. According to official information, it shows that the exterior design of the hybrid CX-50 is somewhat different from the gasoline version, but I just observed 2 versions together and played Find the Differences. I really didn't find too many design differences. From the front face, you can see that it is still the thicker and more sporty front face of the CX-50. The shape of the front light group is an alien design, which is relatively narrow and fierce. This is exactly the same as the gasoline version of the CX-50, which looks so bright. The light group and the center grille form a small eaves design, which is also a design symbol of the current Mazda family. The design elements in the front center grille are also bright black. The only bright color in the front appears on the logo. There is no very obvious protruding bumper platform design in the front. The most protruding position in the front is the position of the logo, and the other is the lower edge of the center grille. There is an air vent on each side, which have a real ventilation function. A light strip is designed on the left and right below. These black plastic materials are used in a large area below the bumper. I compared them carefully. Apart from the hybrid logo on the fender, I did not find any difference between the hybrid and the gasoline version. The overall shape of the vehicle and the details of the lines are exactly the same as the gasoline version. Although the appearance of this car is slightly larger than the gasoline version, its size is still not too exaggerated in this market segment in the United States. The overall height is not too high, but it looks very low and wide. In particular, the four-wheel arches are very protruding and very solid. The back has a fattened and enlarged effect, which is very exaggerated and round. I remember that when this car first came out, I made a metaphor that if you look down at this car from the air, the front and rear are designed to be very wide, and there is a narrowing effect in the middle. The edges of the wheel arches and the skirt of the car are decorated with very wide black plastic, which makes the car look more wild and unruly. From the side color matching, we can see that there are both large areas of black plastic and some shiny decorative materials. However, the window is not completely surrounded by chrome strips, but only has this little chrome strip. There is a metal luggage rack with two crossbars. Based on my personal experience, if you don't have a real use for the crossbars of this luggage rack and just want it to look good, I suggest you equip it, as the wind noise is really loud. It can be installed when in use and taken down when not in use. The outer shell of the rearview mirror is decorated with bright black with turn signals on it and warning lights for blind spot monitoring inside. Only the front two of the four doors have the touch-sensitive unlocking and locking function, while the rear two do not. One of the things that CX-50 has always done well is that the opening angles of the four doors are very large, especially the rear door, which is very exaggerated, making it very convenient to get in and out of the car. It is also very convenient for me to film it. However, in some narrow parking spaces, rear passengers must pay attention to safety when getting in and out of the car. All four windows of this version of the car are single-layer glass, without any double-layer glass. The bottom edge of the door covers the bottom edge of the car body. With my height as a reference, getting in and out of this car is not inelegant at all, and there is no need to use any pedals. The CX-50 hybrid model currently has 17-inch wheels and 19-inch wheels to choose from. This car uses 19-inch wheels. The wheel style is also unique to hybrid models, and it is relatively conventional and not very complicated. At present, the size of the brake discs of the CX-50 is the same regardless of which powertrain it is. The front brake discs are ventilated discs with a diameter of 12.8 inches, while the rear ones are solid discs with a diameter of 12.8 inches. According to official, it shows that the appearance of the hybrid model has been redesigned to a certain extent, but we have checked out the front, side, and rear, not find any difference in appearance. It may be that I am short-sighted and did not notice it. You can see that the rear tail has a downward pressure design. Although the rear design is full, you can see that its design does not bow to practicality and still makes a more individual appearance. Above, the relatively thick spoiler integrates the high-mounted brake light, and there is a window frame design on both sides. The rear wiper, very good. The taillight shape remains consistent with the gasoline version. The elements of the light group are still the unified style of the Mazda family. On this car, the rear light group is designed to be narrow, which echoes the narrowness of the front light group. It can also be clearly seen that the rear light sources are all LED. There are two honeycomb-shaped black decorative panels on both sides, but they are just decorative panels to echo the shape of the front. There is no very exaggerated protruding bumper shape at the rear. A large amount of this black plastic material is used below the bumper position, which looks very rough and hardcore, but it can be designed to be more gorgeous. There are two exhausts, one on each side, in a straight-out form. Mazda's key, buttons on the side. The lining of the tailgate of the trunk is a whole piece of plastic, a light on it. The overall condition of the trunk, whether the shape of the opening or the depth, is not much different from the gasoline version. I didn't find any difference. In this level, you can see that the height of its trunk is slightly average, and the bottom edge of the trunk is relatively high. The depth of the trunk, whether it is the bottom or the top, is considered to be a standard existence in this level. The handle for folding the second row, a very thick hook, a light here, and four very strong hooks below. The handle for folding the second row on the right, a very thick hook, and a storage compartment below. Open the cover. First, you can feel that the cover of Mazda is very thick, and the fluff on it is also very comfortable to touch. Another thing is to see what is underneath. Who said that hybrid models must not be equipped with tires? Hybrid models can also equip spare tires. Awesome! After all, the weight is already so heavy, it doesn't matter if there is an extra spare tire. Again, you will only know how important a spare tire is when you need it. I also hope that more and more manufacturers can return spare tires to vehicles, even if it is a non-full-size spare tire. The space performance after the second row is folded down. You can see that it is relatively flat. There is a slight height difference between the second row and the trunk, but it is not big. Coming over in, you can feel that the overall central control style is consistent with other versions of CX-50. This is normal. CX-50 has just been released for a short time. There is no need to design a new central control interior style for a new powertrain. I believe that even if the Mazda family is redesigned now, it will still be the same style. All 4 windows have a one-button up and down function. This version has a head-up display, which is very Mazda. There are many buttons on the center console on the left side of the steering wheel. The instrument panel still uses the 3 circles of the Mazda family. The round in the middle is a screen. The difference is that the round on the left is an engine tachometer in other versions, but it is a power output meter in this version. The screen does not have many items that can be displayed and interacted with. Compared with other versions, there is an additional drive battery power display in the middle. Adjust it through the keys on the left side of the steering wheel. The display is relatively clear. The steering wheel is also in the form of the Mazda family, with a moderate size and a small 3-spoke style. The shortcut buttons on the steering wheel are all common parts of the Mazda family. There are no paddles of any kind behind the steering wheel. The lights have automatic on, off, and automatic high beam functions. The front wipers have rain sensing functions. The automatic anti-glare interior rearview mirror has 3 garage switches on it. There is a glasses case on it. Very good, but no wide-angle mirror. We have also checked out the Mazda central screen many times. One of the screens is slightly farther from the driver, the other is tilted toward the driver, which is great. You can also see that the screen hardware and software are not much different from other versions of the CX-50. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto can be connected wirelessly. The screen is a touchscreen only under those 2 functions. In other cases, it must be controlled through the following control mechanism. It is equipped with Bose audio, and the sound effect is good at this level, but it is not shocking. This car does not have a panoramic views, only reversing views. The view area is not too large, but the clarity is good. The air conditioning control panel is also very consistent with other Mazdas. The 2 front seats of this car have 3 levels of seat heating and ventilation functions. There is a 12-volt charger socket below. The driving modes of this car are sports mode, normal mode, and trail mode. When the power battery is enough, there is also an EV mode. We have seen more of this from other manufacturers before. The central armrest box opens left and right, with a moderate volume inside, plastic all around, and velvet lining underneath. There are 2 small data exchange ports and an SD card slot inside. Sitting inside, the overall feeling is exactly the same as other versions of CX-50. It seems that there has been no change, or I have not noticed it. Now I adjust the seat to the lowest position so that you can observe the space performance. The seat feels like the other CX-50 seat, which is relatively thick. In this version of the car, the color of the seats is red, and the stitching and color matching are so sexy. The 2 wings of the seat cushion and the backrest are slightly raised, which plays a certain supporting role. The 2 front seats of this car are power adjustable, and the driver has a 2-way lumbar adjustment and 2 memory functions. The filling material of the seat does not seem to be very soft. The current design style of the Mazda family is that the inclination angle of the A-pillar is relatively large. In order to expand the longitudinal space in the car, the longitudinal length of the center console is relatively short, so that the driver and passengers sit forward, and the exterior rearview mirrors are relatively close to the driver. When looking at the left and right mirrors during driving, the driver's head swings relatively large. The materials are also more Mazda, and the roof is made of fabric. The lining of the A-pillar is made of plastic. The top of the central control instrument panel is made of soft material. The front of the passenger is relatively delicate, with leather material and small red stitching on the top, and the glove box is made of hard plastic. There are some gorgeous decorative panels above the shift platform of the central control, and the sides are all hard plastic, and the hard plastic feels a bit thin, not very thick. The legs are completely leaning on the center console. When you sit in the car and look at the window frame, you can see the metal parts, but there are not too many metal parts, and the rubber is basically covered. The sound of the window working is relatively loud, and there is no noise reduction design at the moment of closing. The door panel material is relatively solid in the front row. The top is soft material, there is a certain decorative panel in the middle, there is black leather material in the middle, and the bottom is also soft material. The red part is all leather material. The bottom is black plastic, and there is no soft feeling. There are cup holders and storage compartments on the door panels. You can feel some burrs on the edges of many plastic parts in the car. Of course, this problem can be found on cars at this price point, even on cars at more expensive prices. Sitting in the second row, I feel that there is no difference from other versions of CX-50. You can see that the second row has a heightened effect. The sight line of the second row is higher than that of the first row. There is no problem with the space, as you can see. Head space, leg space, this seat is relatively far back. The leg space is not a problem, but it is not very spacious, and it can be slightly more spacious over there. The second row of seats is relatively comfortable, and it is relatively good in this level. The various parts of the seat are relatively high and long enough, which can provide support for various parts of the body. The seat cushion is relatively thick and it feels a little soft when sitting on it, but it is not particularly soft. The second row of seats cannot be adjusted at any angle, even the backrest angle. This car has a large sunroof. The curtain opens here. This car is equipped with a 2-zone air conditioner. The rear air conditioner cannot be adjusted separately, but there is an air conditioner outlet, which is behind the front armrest box. There are 2 small charger sockets below. The central floor bulge is not too high. The backrest of the front seat also has a storage compartment on the right side, but not on the left side. The operating noise of the rear window is louder than that of the front seat. You can also see the metal parts when you sit in the back seat and look at the window frame. The material used for the door panel is not as solid as that of the front row. A large area of black plastic is used on the top, which is very hard plastic. There is a part of imitation leather in the middle, and the red part is also leather. The bottom is hard plastic. There are cup holders and storage compartments on the door panel. The edge of the plastic part of the cup holder also has burrs. The height of the central armrest of the second row is high enough, with 2 cup holders on the top. There is a handle on each door frame, and there is a lighting lamp on the left and right of the second row, and a hook on the left and right. The overall feeling of driving this car is quite fun and wonderful. I always want to laugh while driving. In short, the feeling of the power system is very typical of Toyota's hybrid system based on a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. In other aspects, such as suspension, brakes, steering feedback, and noise control, these aspects are very Mazda. From this, we can actually see some helplessness of Mazda. Facing the turbulent wave of transformation of automobile drive energy, it seems that borrowing a boat to go to sea is the fastest, most convenient and economical way for Mazda to break through. And it is also a stopgap measure. In fact, this is not the first time that Mazda and Toyota have cooperated in this field. The previous M2 hybrid model is also the product of cooperation between Mazda and Toyota. Viewing from the world, there are currently several traditional automobile manufacturers who are cooperating or intend to cooperate with Toyota. Toyota's hybrid system based on the A25 engine is also a time-tested hybrid warrior. It has proved its reliability with so many models for so long. On the other hand, this hybrid system was initially developed with fuel economy as its main focus, which is quite different from the hybrid systems that were later developed with power as their main focus. Correspondingly, the A25 hybrid system is relatively conservative in terms of power parameters, which we have introduced many times before. In addition to the advantage of fuel economy, its other advantage is that it is relatively smooth. During the entire driving process, if the power battery is sufficient, the motor will only drive the vehicle alone when it is creeping at a low speed or at a relatively uniform speed. The working state of the fuel engine is still relatively active, and the engine will start working as long as you kick the accelerator a little harder. The tonality of the engine of this car is still like that of my mother's family. As long as the engine is involved when the foot is stepped on, the sound of the engine is still relatively loud, and the sound is very high-pitched. This inheritance is quite thorough. It can be clearly felt that the sound insulation of CX-50 is slightly better than that of RAV4. It is not as loud as the hybrid RAV4 engine. It is not so noisy, but it is not too quiet. You can tell who its mother is at a glance. The overall power of this car feels not much different from the 2.5L naturally aspirated version of Mazda, but it is definitely not as powerful as the 2.5-liter turbocharged version. The low-speed acceleration is relatively smooth. Especially the initial start is more agile than the pure oil engine. The low-speed acceleration is okay, but the ability to continuously accelerate is its shortcoming. When the speed reaches 60 or 70 miles per hour, if you drive at a constant speed and suddenly want to accelerate again, even if you step on the accelerator, it does not have the immediate feeling of low or medium speed acceleration. But overall, the smoothness of this system is better than that of Mazda's gasoline car. After all, Mazda's 6AT itself is not its strong point in the industry in terms of smoothness. Another difference from the gasoline version of CX-50 is that you can feel that the body of this car is heavier. The suspension of CX-50 is originally tuned to be stiff. This time, coupled with the heavier body, you can clearly feel that when the car passes a smooth and undulating road, the ups and downs of the body are not as large as those of the CX-50 gasoline model. It seems that the suspension pulls the body tighter. But if you experience it carefully, you can feel that this feeling is caused by the heavier body. But even if it is heavier, I feel that it is still lighter than the electric vehicles or plug-in hybrid models of this level in the industry, not so exaggerated. At the moment when this car falls on the undulating road, the suspension is still the last thing to catch the car. Cannot feel that the body is directly hit on the ground. The other feelings are more similar to the of CX-50 gasoline model, and the steering force also has a relatively light feeling at low speed and stable at high speed. But the steering wheel of Mazda CX-50 is not very light at low speed. Compared with the competitors of the same level in the current market, the low-speed steering of Mazda CX-50 is slightly heavier. If female friends who like this car, I suggest you have it try first. The brakes feel good. Although the weighted brake system has not been strengthened, the general feeling is not much different from the gasoline model brakes. The brake pedal is also relatively tight. The vehicle noise control is not much different from the gasoline version of CX-50. Relatively speaking, I feel that it is better than the RAV4 hybrid, at least when the engine is strongly involved. Although the sound is also loud, it feels a little quieter than the hybrid RAV4. The wind noise is moderate. It is just that the wind noise of the luggage rack beam above is still relatively loud during driving. In summary, this is the tour video of this 2025 CX-50 hybrid model. Overall, its appearance, interior, and static feeling are consistent with other versions of CX-50, not much difference. As for the official saying that there are some unique design details of hybrid models in the appearance, we only see some differences in some logos, didn't find anything else. Maybe I am short-sighted. From the dynamic experience, this car has both the good smoothness of Toyota's hybrid models and the characteristics of the Mazda family in steering, braking, and suspension. Overall, it feels easier to drive. So far, the Mazda family has also gathered gasoline high-end power, and hybrid models in the North American market for CX-50. If you choose cost-effectiveness, you can check out the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated model. If you want better power performance, you can get the 2.5-liter turbocharged model. At present, the parameters of the Mazda 2.5T engine in this level in the US market can basically stand in the front row. If you are looking for fuel economy, the hybrid Mazda CX-50 is more suitable. So far, hybrid models have one more option in the compact SUV market of the United States. Same words, choose what you like, don't control it, don't be shy. Above video, thank you all.